Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Swiss Round. This video is again brought to you by the concept that a shorter video is better than no video. Also, sorry this is very much later than I wanted it to be, but I just wasn't feeling it. And you know, if I'm not feeling it, doesn't make for such a great video. Anyhow, today is plane reviews. I forget if I already said that or not. And one of the craft I was sent in that was supposed to be stock or just, you know, didn't say that it had mods, has an RSB Strut XL, whatever that is, so yeah. But the first plane we'll be looking at today is the X-34 by Ep.76, and this is supposed to be a highly maneuverable double delta cranked arrow double delta wing jet. That sounds strange to me for some reason. Oh dude, the landing gear placement, beautiful. Oh my god, someone who gets that right. Oh wow, that does accelerate very quickly. Yeah, because, oh, it's got clipped-in engines. Okay. Oh wait, no it doesn't. It just has two Junos and a regular... Oh, he lost consciousness. I didn't even notice I was pulling that hard, but yeah. Wow. That is awesome. The roll performance is a bit extreme. He's gonna lose consciousness again, by the way. Oh, nope, didn't quite. Okay. Hold on, pull the turn, don't lose consciousness. Let's look at from the cockpit, which then doesn't let us see the G meter, which is kind of not good because I have no idea if he's about to pass out or not. Okay, let's not die. Oh, regain consciousness quickly, please, because you're gonna crash if you don't. Okay, almost lost consciousness again. Wow, I'm actually going to turn down the throttle just because this thing is so insanely fast. I'm also going to pull up again. And wow, this thing is fast. Yeah. Wow. Oh, did he? Really? I hadn't even noticed that I pulled it a bit too hard and he still lost consciousness. Like, even at 1/3 throttle, we're still going very fast. That is very cool. It's not that massive a jet either. Like, it's... Oh wow, the only intake is this. Because if I remember correctly, yeah, this does intake. And wow, look at how fast it's going at 1/3 throttle. Yeah, that seems to be the only intake. Interesting. I wonder how well it does at altitude then. Oh wait, no, ha, I'm an idiot. There's this big old intake down here. Yeah, so this is by, oh yeah, I already said, Pieliker 96. Great maneuverability, great acceleration, great speed, to the point where, you know, I keep making the pilot lose consciousness. Whoops. Okay, the only problem I have with it is that the roll response is so extreme that you can't you can't just roll a little. Like, it's kind of difficult to... Like, I actually prefer things with a little bit less roll response, because what happens is it gets harder to respond to. Oh shit, like that, and you can spin out, and that was really cool. That was a really cool spin out. This thing, oh god, when it freaks out in a really cool way. The next plane is by Admix and is called the M1 Dragonfly. It's supposed to be a search and rescue plane for finding wreckages and black boxes. It has a single action group. Oh, it was not one. Oh, it is supposed to be one. It doesn't actually work though. Okay, so you have mislabeled. Yeah, it was supposed to have afterburners on action group 1. Oh, that's cool. I just noticed it's using the giant ass tail fin, and is this enabled? It's enabled for roll, which would probably clip into the top one. Is this? Yeah, that's not enabled at all. Interesting. Search and rescue craft. You can just barely see the edge of the wings, the upper wings. And of course you can see why it's called Dragonfly with the wing arrangement it's got. Flying pretty fast. How much fuel do you got on board? You got... Okay. You left the monoprop in! Why did you always leave the monoprop in? It's extra weight, you don't need to be carrying that around. I mean, I've heard a couple of people say they did it for balance purposes, but, I mean, unless you're doing it for balance, why? And then, of course, a whole spam of intakes. I feel like these ones are kind of out of place, because they're, like, completely blocked by the cockpit, it looks like. But, in reality, that would still work. It would just be, boundary layer error, which is actually a problem. There's this oh, I forget what it's called. There's this like jet design that they're working on that would make for really fuel efficient jets, and like, if I remember correctly, it would also allow supersonic flight with a better design than the Concorde for like passenger craft. And it relies on intake air coming from the boundary layer above the rear fuselage, and it's like significantly less drag that way. But the problem is that it's very easy to stall the compressor because it what's the word? I can't think of it. Oh wow, we've gone pretty far just in that short time. Might as well go to the island runway at this point. It's basically what happens is because you're taking the boundary layer air, part of the air is moving at a significantly different speed than another part of the air in the intake, and that can lead to, if I remember correctly, it was shock waves on the blades in the intake, and it could lead to the compressor stalling, because what would happen is some of the blades would start to stall before others, and it would kind of have a cascading failure that would go around to all the blades. And so it's like it's a major design flaw that they're trying to work around. But if they can figure out a way to avoid that problem, then they could make some really cool aircraft, like futuristic type shit. Of course, I don't know how much of what I was reading is bullshit, but it sounds perfectly reasonable from what I've learned and heard. So it's interesting. This plane goes pretty fast too. Can we yeah, and see, because the pitch isn't nearly as extreme, we don't have to worry about Rainer here losing consciousness. So yes. Oh my god, I just thought of a really stupid idea, flying through one of those buildings. I'm not gonna do that, especially not in this plane. It does not have the performance capability to do it. This is pretty nice. This is surprisingly nice to fly around in. Just kind of going around. Yeah. Next for today is a replica of the McDonnell Douglas MD-80. It is called the KD-80. Oh, look at that. We have the action groups listed right there. It's an airliner series, much like a 747 with many variants. What? No. No. MD-80 is nothing like a 747. 747s are huge. Let me look at this. Is it like a... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's big, but it's not huge. Oh man, this reminds me of something I learned recently that was really cool. Basically, you know how there's a lot of planes with triple engines? They have like the extra engine on the tail. Basically, the reason those were invented is because there was this, I mean, technically a law? Or is it not called a law because it's an FCC regulation? Well, anyhow, there was this thing with the FCC where they couldn't have two plane engines go farther than so many miles out from any kind of air landing strip that they could land at. Basically, because they figured if there was a single engine failure, they could go at most that many miles before landing, before needing to land. But those rules were created back in the days of prop planes and didn't really apply so well to jet engines, because jet engines are much more reliable. And so for a long time, the only way you could take a plane that far out is you had to have a third engine. And so they designed planes with third engines so that they could do these longer routes that aren't heavily trafficked without having to get something like a big-ass 747. So yeah. And apparently this one holds 68 Kerbals, and the real world version of this thing carries between 130 and 172 passengers. Where is the ladder on this thing? Oh, just a little crew ladder right there. Okay, we have air brakes, which I'm guessing is spoilers on the top of the wings. Yes, it is. And we have flaps, which I should probably enable since we're... Oh, I didn't realize the air brakes were a toggle. Okay, well, that makes sense. And we have a thrust reverser, of course, which we're not going to use right now. But in any case, we're using flaps. Oh, it's got a little bit of landing gear on the back to protect against tail strikes. That's funny. How cute. Of course, I'm going to pull up very gently because I know what I'm doing. And we're not going to have any tail strikes. Very nice. Oops, I wasn't pulling up enough and I let us dip back down a little bit. Oh, you know what? I just noticed he's cheating. Because I just noticed this bit here. We got a control surface embedded in the cockpit here. Oh, we got two of them, two big ones. Oh wow, that's a lot of batteries. And, whatchamacallits? Things. You know the things, the radioisotope thermoelectric generators. It's got a lot of fuel on here too. Why do we... Whoa, why do you have all the oxidizer in here? Why do you have a rocket fuel with oxidizer? I mean, I guess for weight balance, but... That sucks if you gotta do that for weight balance. Anyhow, let's disengage the flaps now, so we can cruise. And let's toggle the thrust reverser. No, let's not do that. Okay, undo. Thank you. Jeez, we were about to fall out of the air. Let's turn that off. I just felt like looking at the heat display for a moment. Alright, let's pull this around. Come in for a landing. And, yeah, it's a passenger aircraft. I don't think... Well, actually, no, this isn't too reasonable. Isn't too unreasonable a turn. Because even though we're at a pretty steep angle, we're maintaining... Is that 1G? I think every tick on here is 1G. So we're maintaining just above 1G in this turn. So we're dropping altitude a little bit, but because we're pulling up, we're maintaining a G. Which is pretty cool. I'm not quite sure how well I would be able to take this and land it at this distance, just because I have to get the turning perfect, basically, in order to actually pull around correctly. So I'll try, but I ain't promising much. If I miss the runway, I'm going to just land it in the grass and basically, oh yeah, we need to engage the flaps again. That is part of the what we would do. Let's go ahead and throttle up just a bit so we have a bit more airspeed. Airspeed? Yes, airspeed. That is the correct term. I completely lost my mind for a moment there, and we have gone over the runway again. Ridiculously hard pitch, and okay, we're pretty much lined up. Well, we're crooked a bit, but we're close enough to be okay. And I need to... Something I'm forgetting here. Oh yes, spoilers, but that's when we hit the ground. So I gotta hit 3 and 1. Oops. Okay, let's let her drift onto the runway. Okay, oops. Full speed, throttle, air brakes, and engage the regular brakes. And now we have full braking force. Oh, that's cool. I'm guessing he weakened the brakes. No, he didn't. Oh, it really does need those. Wow. I was gonna say he maybe weakened the brake. Okay, let's not go backwards. I'm just toggling the thrust reversers because the residual thrust. Oh, that was funny. I'm sorry, that was just really funny to me, having the residual thrust and being like, oh, yep, do that. Do we have steering on the front wheels? Oh no, these are the large landing gear. They don't have steering. Yes, we have no steering. Oh, that sucks. Oh, cool, we got lights on the front, though. Did that? No, there's no action group for that, but you can toggle lights with U, so... Ooh. Oh, that's so cool. I love a well-done passenger plane replica. I don't know why, because it'd be boring to actually fly it for a long distance or whatever. I might do that sometime, just for the hell of it, though. And I'm afraid that's it for today. I'm going to fly the X-34 just a little bit more, because it is frickin' awesome. And I will see you in, that's the wrong button, space! The final frontier.